Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. It's Michelle with 109 Design, and tonight I'm bringing you a different kind of series where I go through and I show you basic features of Cricut Design Space. And so tonight I'm going to be focusing on Attach, Weld, Group, and Ungroup. So let's get started. So the first thing that we're going to talk about is, what does attach mean? And on my screen here, I created 4 individual text boxes. So what is its own box, does is its own box, and then attach and mean are also their own boxes. And so let's just take a look at what it's going to look like on our map preview screen if we were to just leave it as like this. So we're going to come up here to make it. And as you can see on our map preview screen, it doesn't read correctly. You have what, does, and then attach and mean down below. But we want it to read differently. So we're going to hit cancel. We're going to come back and we're going to highlight the entire phrase by clicking our mouse and dragging across where you get that purple box. And now you have selected the entire phrase. We're going to come down here to attach in the lower right hand corner with the little paperclip logo. We're going to click on that, and now it is one big text box. So now let's see what it looks like when we hit make it. And there you go. Now it's attached, and it's going to either cut, print, or draw out this way for you. So that is what attach does. So the next thing that we're going to discuss is the weld option. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create some text. Just going to type in Cricut Design Space. And this is one big text box. And I'm going to change the font. We're going to change it to a script that I really like, called Bye Bye, and this I got off defont.com. And so what we're going to do is, as you can see, it's a script type font, and this is one of those fonts that you should connect your letters. You see it a lot of times in a lot of Facebook groups or just different platforms where people don't attach their letters. Some people maybe like it this way, but I think a lot of people don't realize that they should connect their letters. Maybe they don't know how to connect their letters. So that's why I'm showing you this. So I'm going to connect the letters. So what I'm going to do is I've selected the box. We're going to come up here to letter space, and I'm just going to hit this down arrow until I start to see my letters connected. Okay, so that didn't take long at all. And I just like to go through and make sure they're all connected, they're not overlapping, because then they won't weld correctly. So next we're going to weld, and this is where we come in and we hit the weld button down here in the lower right hand corner. And what it's done is it has connected all of our letters together. So by connecting all the letters together, your machine is actually going to cut out Cricut as one word, design as one word, and space as one word. Otherwise, your machine would cut out each individual letter, and that can make it really difficult if you're, cutting out cardstock. You want to put happy birthday on a card, and you should have connected your letters, but now you didn't. And so you have to place each individual letter. Well, with Weld, I'm going to just place Cricut down, Design Space down, and be done with it. So that is what the weld option is. So the last two things that we're going to talk about, I'm going to group together, and it just happens to be group and ungroup. So I have here the word Cricut. Again, it's in that script font that we were just working with. And let's say that I want to put my letters together. And so what I'm going to do is, and say when I mean put my letters together, that I don't want to use the letter space option up here at the top like we just did. So what I'm going to do is I have the whole word selected. I'm going to right click on it and go to Ungroup. Now, each individual letter has become its own text box. Okay, so I can move them around as I want. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you that you can do letter spacing this way. It's a little more difficult. Well, it can be, just depending on the type of font you're using. So I'm just bringing everything together exactly to where I want it. Okay, and I have that. And now I'm going to group it back together. So I just selected all of it. I'm going to right click and I'm going to hit group. Now, group and ungroup. With these two options, it doesn't work like attach or weld does, like we just saw. Grouping something together on your design space just keeps it like that on your design space. It doesn't translate over to your matte preview screen. So let's take a look at what I'm talking about. So we're going to hit make it, and I've grouped it together, but look at how it looks on my matte preview screen. It's all jumbled up. So obviously that's not the way we want to cut it out. And so since we have it grouped together, this is where we need to weld the word. We're kind of going back to what we just went over. But it's important to know because, you know, people see it on their design space area looking like it does, and then wonder why when they get to the Make It Matte Preview section that it's all jumbled up. You know, grouping and ungrouping just allows you to change things in your design space work area. So I've grouped it, I've ungrouped it, it's all jumbled up. So let's go ahead and weld it, which again is in the lower right hand corner. And now let's see what it looks like. And there you go. It's exactly the way we would want it to either cut, draw, or print out for us. And that is kind of what the group and ungrouping is for. Alright, well that concludes the first in my series of Cricut Basics showing you attach, weld, group, and ungroup. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, you can leave them in the comment section below. And until next time, bye guys.